This is video number 1. We're going to study some very popular famous riffs through the years and see that sometimes it has unusual notes inside them. For example, we're going to start with Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix, and I'm sure you're going to recognize this riff. I'm sure you recognize that. Now I'm first going to teach you the riff. We're going to explain the notes as we go along, and then you'll see what the odd note out is. In other words, the note you don't normally expect to hear or find in the key of the song. So we're going to focus our direction now onto the fretting hand, and we're going to have your PDF printed out in front of you or somewhere where you can read it. And let's have a look at the opening tabs. It starts off at fret 6, string 6, which is going to be the note B flat. This is B flat, should sound like that, and there's its octave. Okay, you'll notice that B flat lower pitch, B flat higher pitch, and they simply play these two notes 4 times in a row. Now I don't really mind if you use first finger and third or first finger and pinky, so you can do this, or you can do this. As long as you do it 4 times in a row, that's cool. Now on the next line, we're going to start with the main riff, which sounds like this. And then, okay. Now you can do a slide to the 9. So I normally do a 2 fret slide. You don't really want to hear this note. You say this will be bad, because that means I can hear the 7. I want to hear the effect sliding from the 7 to the 9, or stopping on fret 9. Going across to the 3rd string, fret 7, should be a little bit of a bend there. You're going to go to the 8 on the 2nd string, and then you jump back to that 7 and actually do play it this time. So one more time, slow motion. And the second bar goes to fret number 5 on the 4th string. Okay, and there's a pull off there, and when I say pull off, I'm going to focus on the picking hand. You'll notice I pick the 5 and I flick off the first finger, so the plectrum didn't actually pick the 2nd note. After that pull off, I come across to the 6th string, I pluck in, that's the open 0 above the 2nd beat, and then you're going to go to a very quick hammer on from the 5 to the 7. So I'm fretting fret 5 over here on the 5th string, and you'll notice my 3rd finger is getting ready for fret 7. And notice it's not this. It sounds a bit different as well. I said I didn't pick twice, I only picked once, and then the hammer on. Okay, so one more time through. I'm going to play the 1st and 2nd bar together now, slow motion. You can play along with me if you want to. Get ready with your ring finger at fret 7 to slide to the 9, and the first 2 bars are going to sound like this. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat it. And there's still a whole lot of other things to come on, but this is more about the notes. Now, if you were to break down and analyze the notes, you'd discover that this riff, this lick, phrase, whatever you prefer to call it, is actually in the key of E minor. In other words, the notes that he's playing inside this come from the E minor scale. You can hear the similarity, and that there was the E minor pentatonic. Let's focus back quickly on the E minor pentatonic scale here, and we're going to start at fret 12, so the double dot is, and here's your E minor pentatonic. Should use the pinky, so I'm just going to get more comfortable there, and check this out. Fret 12, fret 15, fret 12, fret 14, 12 and 14 again 12 and 14, on the 2nd string back to 12 and 15, and we end on 12 and 15 as well. So this is E minor pentatonic, and backwards. And it sounds quite nice if I do. And you can hear that that riff actually complemented the improvised attachment to it. So what I did there is I did a basic riff that Hendrix used and added on my own little change. In other words, I replaced with, which you can do, it's called improvising. Anyway, back to the original purpose of the study. You've learned a cool riff, that's a good goal to start with. And you've got the key, we know it's E minor. And those that know music theory know that the key of E minor is relative to the key of G major, which has 1 sharp, which is the note F sharp. But I don't want to get into there now. What's important, and here comes the purpose, the focus, the goal of this lesson is to say why did Jimi start there? Because that note is nowhere in the scale. That's B flat, that's B flat. And the scale is going to go like this. If I call out the names of the notes, E, G, A, B, D, E, and then it repeats itself. G, A, B, D, E, G again. So we've got a problem here because this sounds really cool. And this sounds very cool. So that means they work together, but in principle, maybe at first glance it shouldn't. Now, this is why it's important to know your scales. If I play this scale here, and I'm just going to get more comfortable so I can zoom in a bit closer there, you might know the scale. That is your E minor blues scale. Now, what's important here is to realize that the E minor pentatonic over 1 octave and the E minor blues has got 1 note different. It's that note. Now hold on a minute, that note sounded familiar, hey? Why did it sound familiar? Because it's that note. Okay. So to summarize, if you're playing Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix, that opening B flat is actually starting on the minor blue note, and that's what gives it that dissonant sound which resolves so nicely. So you've got this very sort of bold sort of opening of a kicking in, and then it resolves itself nicely into the minor blues. And there's your note. Okay, so you'll always find that no matter how weird the scale sounds, it'll always tie into something. So whatever song you're doing, if there's a note that doesn't sort of agree with the scale that you think it comes from, spend a bit of time, look at different scales. That's the purpose of these studies. Now to finish off, just to make the video a bit more fun, if you look at the bottom of your PDF, you're going to see there's an E7 sharp 9, which looks like this, which some people actually call the Hendrix chord because he used it quite a lot. He's very fond of it. To show it up close what's happening, fret 1, string 4, fret 6, middle finger to the 5th string 7th fret, ring finger to the 7th fret 3rd string, and pinky goes to the 8th fret 2nd string. And because it's an E7 sharp 9, you can actually include the open strings as well. So there's nothing stopping you from playing all the strings like this. And it sounds really cool. Now, assuming you know Purple Haze well, which I'm really hoping you do. If you don't, Google it now as soon as you finish with this video. The chords are going to go like this. Two and 3 and 4 and I'm hoping you recognize that. Now, the other 2 chords are just G and A. He plays basic bar chords there. And then there's a little riff which goes like this. And you can do a slide, or you can do a hammer on. Don't really mind what you want to do for that. And it's followed through by a... And this note is part of your E7 sharp 9. Happens to be the note G. Interestingly enough, G is the relative major for E minor. The song's in E minor, you got your key. Let's just have a look at the riff up close for those that aren't too sure of it, just for the fun of it quick, because it's nice to learn. You're going to start with your E7 sharp 9, capitalizing on playing that top string there, because it's the E string, works well with the chord. Your G bar chord, if you don't know your bar chords, look for my videos on them. I'm not going to teach them now. G and A, and it goes through 3 times. And on the 4th time when it goes, you sings, excuse me while I kiss the sky, when he sings that part there, and excuse my voice, after you've sung about kiss the sky, he goes, and that's a very quick slide from fret 7 to fret 9, back to fret 7, fret 5 on the 5th string, and then you're going to have fret 9 slide from fret 7 to fret 9 on the 4th string, onto 7, onto 8, sort of like the intro, eh? Recognizing it now, and it goes through twice, and back to that. It's a really cool song to jam. And if you want to, what will sound really quite cool if you're just improvising by yourself and you don't feel like putting up backtracks and having to find your mate to do certain jam with, you can do something like this. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to play these chords and I'm going to do E minor pentatonic, maybe minor blues. Check this out. Doing is just staying on the E7 sharp 9, nice blues chord. It's a dominant 7th chord. It's a major with a flattened 7th, that's for those that know the theory. And then instead of playing G and A, putting part of the scale inside there. And just one quick riff for the fun of it up close. I'm not going to tab this out for you, it's just a very cool riff to try and do. Starting here, slow motion again. And there's the minor blues note. Another nice one is to try something like this, which is quite cool. You take the fret 14, bend it, pinky down. And there's a whole lot of phrases that I can sit and that you can obviously rewind the video and take from there as well. And they all work pretty cool. Anyway, enough of that for now. I hope you got the song going. It's not a study on the song itself, but more study about notes we don't expect to hear in a certain key. And in this particular case, E minor blues. And I had that B flat note, which we don't expect to see in the key of G. And that's our lesson. Have an awesome day and enjoy.